Welcome back to Digi Bros, everybody. In the last episode, Victor caught a Rhyhorn and named it Tim Chang's. I wasn't paying attention and didn't notice.
Tim Chang's! Pew, 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 pew.
How amazing was the latest Tim Chang's video, where he asked everybody if they would let their girlfriend fuck Kobe Bryant? That shit was fucking hilarious.
Wonderful. He is. I just don't understand what he is, and like, every video he puts out is totally different than the last. And it's blowing my mind.
He's great. I think he's great.
He's an artisan.
If you don't follow Tim Chang's with 4 Z's,
Tim Chang's, pew, pew, pew.
You should check him out. He's a DJ and also a Lyft driver. That's all you really need to know.
Oh my god.
So, you were working on this film after the last Digi Bros.
Yes.
For like 3 days, non-stop. No one saw you at all.
Yes.
Except for when we were all... I gotta paint this picture for the audience. Me and Mike and Don Son and
I
Shane
forgot all about this.
We're sitting in the dining room, like just hanging out. Victor comes walking in, hauling all this equipment. Like, so and I have no idea what's going on. Every day, like, all the cars aren't in the driveway.
Yes.
And, like, you keep, like, opening the garage and bringing this huge unmarked white van into the garage. And, like, dumping all this crazy-ass fucking equipment. Yes. And so he's bringing in all this shit, and then he comes walking in with, like 2 boxes worth of weird shit, and then 2 more, like, trapper boxes full of weird shit, and then puts a black tent on the table with arm sockets, and it's just like, I gotta do stuff. And we're all like, what the fuck is this, like, it's like Breaking Bad happening in the middle of the dining room.
Rip my shirt off and get down to business, man.
Yeah. And you never once, in the process of any of this, explained anything to anyone. No one had any idea what you were doing.
That's me. Well, no one asked, for one. And I was just like, I wonder
asked several
how
times,
far I can go into this.
What the fuck is all this shit? And you would just be like, it's the film.
It's film shit, man. It's stuff.
So, I believe what you were doing is that you have learned how to manage film.
Yes.
Now, you've told me before that your role in this movie was the assistant camera guy.
Yes.
But that seems to have massively expanded in the time between the 2 times you were working on this film.
Well, I mean, the only extra thing I did was load the film, which is not in the job description of the assistant
apparently involves
camera.
driving a white van into the garage.
Well, that's because I had all of the film equipment with me in that van at all times. I had all of the camera shit.
Whose van is it?
It's a van we rented for the shoot.
Okay.
And so I was, like, I had the key to that van, and I was driving the van the entire time.
Okay. And it had all the film shit.
Yes, I had all of the camera shit.
Why did you have to keep bringing everything inside?
Because it's about $600,000 of equipment, and we didn't want to leave it outside. And I was the only one who could drive it and keep it in the garage.
Because you kept bringing stuff into the house.
Well, that was just to change the film. And then I had to bring in some stuff to charge it inside.
What about all those cardboard boxes? What was in those?
Those were full of audio stuff that I was charging.
I see. So, he comes in, and there's this little tent he's got on the table that, like, I guess, what do you do in that? Just change what thing the film is in?
Yes. To put the film into the magazines, you have to do it in a changing tent because it can't be exposed to any light or it'll be ruined.
It's a micro black room.
Yes.
A portable black room.
A portable black room.
But in order to do this, because this tent has little arm sockets that you put your arms into and you manage the film. But there is no way of seeing into this tent.
Yeah, so can't be any light.
You just have to know what's happening in there.
Yeah.
So Victor just reaches his arms into these sleeve things and just like fucking around with stuff, like talking to people. And you're like, what are you fucking doing in there? I don't fucking know. You can't see.
It's pretty simple. I mean, they're just like, put this, make sure the film's going the right way, load it into the socket, pull it out of the thing, put it back in the thing, and then wrap it up in the other thing, and like...
But without seeing it.
But yeah, without looking. So like, I practiced once while looking at it with a dummy roll, and then I did it once with my eyes closed and was like, alright, I can do this, and then I've loaded all the film all weekend.
Right.
Probably loaded like 7 magazines.
So you had all this shit. So what all did you do while you were on set? Just your normal job?
I mean, yeah, but with also loading film. And my normal job is twice as intense because when you're shooting film, you don't really get a monitor to look at. So I'm doing focus without being able to look at it.
Right.
Which involves taking lots of precise measurements and
so
like
what you have to do is
being
like
super legit.
so I'm guessing that there's like on the camera the focus will say like 20 feet.
Yes.
And you have to measure the distance from the camera to the person and say it's 20 feet and then move the focus to that number.
I set a mark on the focus and I set a couple marks and then I rack back and forth between these different measurements after putting a tape measure next to an actor's face or using my laser thing, which broke. Oh, she's a blast. So it was fun. It was cool. And then it's like, it's one of those things where, because it's film, you can never watch it back. And so I won't even know if I did the first step right until it all gets developed. I could have been doing everything wrong the entire time and I'd have no idea. Dude, I was having nightmares about it every night. Like, I'd barely sleep because I'm having nightmares about, like, not doing the film right because there's no way to know. It's just, I have no idea if I did any of it right.
I remember having a dream last night where at one point Shade told me that Mom and Dad said you should start wearing pants.
What the fuck?
I hadn't been wearing pants for the dream for some reason, and Shade was like, you should start wearing pants, and I was like, I'm not wearing pants? Oh, I guess I'm not. I do remember that exchange happening. I don't remember anything else about the dream.
God, it's been so long since we did this, I feel awkward even talking. I feel reclused and shut down, man.
You were just talking 5 seconds ago.
I know,
excitedly.
it was weird. I'm trying to remember the rest of the story.
I literally just recorded a 5-hour podcast less than 2 hours ago.
If we had done this right after I did that film, I'd probably have some shit to talk about. Because I'm trying to remember, like, what pissed me off.
Like, was it just one thing or everything?
There's a multitude of things. Because, like, the first weekend, we were doing everything digital. We kind of knew what we were doing, and we had a bunch of time, and, like, we did everything kind of on point. And the second weekend was just, it was always way behind schedule. It was always a fucking mess. Like, fucking something would always take forever. Like, the makeup would always take for fucking ever. And you'd be like 2 hours behind because of makeup, and then just the whole thing, the morale is low, everyone's tired, and everything just goes slow, and it's fucking frustrating. We have, like, the assistant director is supposed to be the guy who keeps everyone on schedule and kind of nags you. And the guy we had doing that was like, he would constantly remind you that you're behind, but he'd do it in this really bitchy way where he just seems so disappointed, and he was always,
oh well, we're behind, guys.
Not like that. It was more just like he was devastated because
we're, behind.
Sort of more like that. He just seemed very stressed out about it, and then like the director and the DP weren't really giving a shit that they were behind. So he's just the whole time like, well, you guys made me do this job where I have to be on your ass, and yet you're totally fucking just, you know, shoving him out, not giving a shit. So he's just looked pissed off the entire time, and it's kind of like when everyone has to hear from this guy, and he's just in a shitty mood the whole time, everyone gets in a shitty mood. And so it's just like this totally just set that drags you down. There's this other motherfucker. This motherfucker's been around for, I've been dealing with this motherfucker for over a year now. He was he was the editor on my inspiration video. He was friends with Sergio. He's been
I remember this guy.
He's this guy Kyle. He's been on like everything. And this motherfucker is out to get me, I swear to God. He is the bitchiest motherfucker in the world. And I know he hates me. It's like, confirmed this guy hates me. And I don't know what the fuck I even did to him. We just hate each other with a passion. And it's like, every word this guy says to me is like some sort of passive-aggressive fucking annoyance. And he drives me up the wall insane. Like, it's one of those people that you just look at him and you're like, I want to punch him in the fucking face. Like, my entire time is ruined by this guy's presence. And then all he does is try to, like, help me in condescending ways, where it's like,
how much of this do you think might be you projecting
no,
your own
it's
hatred?
not. It's not. It completely isn't. I've confirmed this with other people. Like, this is a thing. It's horrible. And you can just feel it out of this guy because you know everything he does is insincere.
Right.
And it's just so fucking annoying. And yet he plays it off like he always makes himself the good guy or something, and just makes you feel like shit in this weird backwards way. And then like fucking after the first weekend and after I got back from New York, he sends me this message on Facebook, like, wow, it's so cool that you're helping out on this and that you went to New York. How much are they paying you? And I was like, you motherfucker, you know they aren't paying me shit. And I put like, they aren't paying me shit. And he was like, wow, really? I really respect the dedication you have to this. And I'm like, you fucking prick. Because I know this guy. He's being completely insincere. Like, he's trying to be an asshole by bringing that up. And just trying to make me feel like
what
shit.
What a weird douchebag.
He's a douche. He's such a douche.
That's like the weirdest douchey thing to do. But you're using a air type on a ground type right now.
You're right.
Yeah, that sounds...
He's a fucking douche, man.
It sounds funny.
And it's like, we're both friends with, like, with Christy, and so she'll tell me how much he hates me, like he talks shit about me all the time, so it's, I know he hates me, and I know what this guy's like. And it's like, why are you here?
What about you does he complain about? That's what
I don't know. Like, he just thinks I'm an asshole. Like, he just decided I'm an asshole, and then that's how it is. And I'm sure, like, I'm not nice to him, you know? Right. Because he's always an asshole, so I'm always just kind of, like, trying to just ignore whatever the fuck he's doing. Right. Like, just kind of like,
whenever somebody doesn't like me, my biggest curiosity is exactly why.
It's just like, what are you getting off on right now by fucking being annoying to me? Just leave me the fuck alone. I'm not going out of my way to interact with you in any way. Like, I would just love to never interact with this guy.
Right.
He's such a fucking asshole. It has been like that for like over a year now.
Do you know any of the reasons he doesn't like you? Like any specifics?
I'm sure.
Like what does he complain about?
Rubbed him the wrong way at some point. Maybe
But like,
you know, like, maybe my sense of humor was too much or something. I don't know. Said the wrong shit. Maybe I talked shit about him to Sergio, and then Sergio told him, and so now he hates me. That would probably
easily
be the
biggest reason. Case.
Because
Sergio seems like the kind of guy who would tell somebody the shit you talk about them.
Back when I first met these guys, Sergio would talk shit about him. They were like friends. They were the each other's only friends when I met them. And so, like, Sergio's talking shit about him to me. Then he starts talking shit about Sergio to me, and I didn't have a problem with either of them at the time. And then all of a sudden I get like, start to have a problem with Sergio. I talk shit about Sergio to this guy, and then I get a problem with this guy. I probably talk shit about this guy to Sergio, and then everyone's talking shit about each other in this triangle, right. And it was like that for a while. Like, it was and just everyone talking shit to everyone. And I just stopped talking to that Kyle guy altogether. Like, I was hanging out with Sergio, and I stopped talking to that guy because he was a douchebag. Right. And then it's like obviously it's a triangle of talking shit, and it got too much, and then like I just totally stopped talking shit. Like, I completely stopped after that because I was like, I can't handle this. It's stressing me out. Right. Like, to be at odds with these people. It became too much. But like, I understand the origins of it, but it's been so long now. It's like, I don't want to fuck with you, man. Like, just leave me alone.
Grass is weak to poison, by the way.
I know. I hate this gym. It's like poison and psychic. The fuck's with that? Yes, I have an enemy. I have an actual enemy.
I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of niggas trying to take away my energy, trying to put away
this one guy. Everyone else likes me. No one has a problem with me, but this guy, it blows my mind.
Well, you talked a lot of shit about him, and he's probably well aware of it. So.
Maybe. I guess.
I'm sure that
but it's like I wouldn't have talked shit about him if he didn't already like piss me off.
I have only met Sergio once, but Sergio is the particular brand of awkward where he has to have something to talk about, and he would have talked about what you've said about him. Like,
perhaps
it would have happened,
and he probably would have blown it way up, you know?
Right. But yeah,
I've probably been a dick to him to his face too, because there was a certain time where I was just so pissed off at this guy, and he was being a dick, and then like. You know, I don't restrain myself. Like, I'm very real with people. Right. So I was probably an asshole to this guy, but like, should I apologize? I mean, I don't want to fucking deal with this shit.
Alright.
The repercussions of my actions.
I mean, I take the Benjamin Franklin approach usually, which is if somebody doesn't like me, I try to be nice to them and make it so we end up not hating each other.
I mean, that's what I've been trying to do, you know? It's just like, not be a dick and not like try to fucking fan a flame, just like let it go, you know. Just kind of just try not to interact much, but then he keeps showing up and just like fucking with me. And this dude doesn't need to be anywhere near me on set. Like he's helping with like grip shit and I'm doing camera shit. We don't need to ever interact.
Right.
And yet he will just like be behind me, criticizing me as I work. Right. Like he will literally stand next to me and watch me do shit and just like say annoying shit. And I'm like, why? Why are you standing over my shoulder right now, pissing me off actively while I'm trying to work? It blows my mind.
What kind of stuff
like, I would
does he
never
say
do
to
it.
piss you off?
Just like little things, you know, where he'll just you're trying to do something and he'll just be like, oh, you gotta blah blah blah. And you're just like, I know. Fuck off. Like, job, please fuck off. I'm doing my job.
Sounds hilarious.
It's fucking annoying, man. Oh Jesus.
So,
dealing with people. I'm not good at dealing with people.
I guess not. No, the last guy I got into like a semi bordering on public feud with was Kanipa Effect, and I invited him onto my podcast, which we just recorded. He didn't end up saying much though. But I just wanted him on there because like he was someone who knows his shit but disagrees with me about like a lot of stuff, so I thought it would be interesting. But funnily enough, we didn't have like almost any different opinions about current shows, so so there was no real fighting about that kind of stuff on this podcast. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like in a situation like that, you either have to completely cut ties with the guy, like that anime snob.
I mean, I try, you know,
he keeps
I didn't
trying to get into fights with me, and I'm just like, dude, I don't have time for your shit. Get away from me. But I guess it's a lot easier because I don't have to be on a set with that anime snob.
But it's alright because I know that guy is gonna go nowhere in film. Like I don't see that guy having a future in this at all. All he does is he's the kind of person who thinks he's better than everyone else, even though he's done absolutely nothing.
Well, in fairness, you think you're better than everyone else. You haven't done a whole lot.
I haven't done a whole lot.
He probably feels the same way about you that you do
things.
about him, though.
Probably.
He probably thinks that you think you're hot shit.
I don't shove it in anyone's face.
Yeah, but he probably thinks that you think you're hot shit.
He
and that
definitely thinks I think I'm hot
that you
shit.
haven't done anything that's impressed him yet. So therefore, he thinks that you're exactly like that. That's got to be it. You guys have to feel the exact same way about each other.
Yeah, except like in the class we were in, I got a perfect 100 and he fucking failed with his project.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he respects your work.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
You guys definitely feel the same way about each other.
Obviously.
I love it. It's a good
I would
old-fashioned
just never
rivalry.
like shit on. I don't know. I guess I am shitting on him. I don't know. It's bullshit.
I think you guys.
He's just an enemy.
I think you guys literally have the same opinion of one another.
Probably. He thinks I'm a douchebag. I mean, I definitely think he probably thinks that way about me.
Yeah. Alright, well,
What
that was a
ass,
highly
man.
entertaining
What a pain in
story.
the ass.
Next time on Digi Bros, maybe you'll talk about if you could get any stories out of this hike you just did, or whatever the hell it was.
No stories.
Alright.